So I attended church as an adult, never. Yeah, never. I never attended church. I think I probably had gone to maybe 4 or 5 services throughout my adult life. I'd say today that I was blessed with this opportunity to be successful, and I think I actually got farther away from God because I started to believe that under my own power, my success was coming. Either you can believe in something or somebody else, or you can believe in yourself. And I elected, I think, to go with that second option and believe in myself. So I met Kristen about 11 years ago, and we have 6 children. I've lived in Orange County since 2005. I have 4 or 5 boat and yacht dealerships that I'm a partner in. But when we moved from South Orange County to Newport Beach, obviously we had to find a new school. And I remember my wife had toured the school with her mother, a couple miles from the house. That was Newport Christian. And she called me up and she says, Greg, I really need you to go look at the school. And I said, honey, I'm busy at work. This is your department. My department's figuring out how to pay for all this stuff. She says, I think it would be important that you just go walk the school. And so I just, okay, fine, make me an appointment and I'll go look at it. And I parked over by the church, not knowing where I was going, and I ran into a gentleman walking across the campus, and he asked me if I knew where I was going. And I said, I'm here for a school tour, and he said, I'll show you where it is, and he introduced himself as Ryan. He said, I'm the pastor of the school. And I don't know what it was necessarily in that moment, but I believe that may have been one of the most divine meetings of my entire life. Ironically, I didn't attend church for 2 years later. 2021, I was in a meeting with a consultant who was working on a project for us, and we had hit a series of dead ends. And he called me and he says to me, Greg, I got bad news. Unfortunately, we didn't get the property, and I know we really wanted this one, but it just didn't work out. And I said to him, hey, look, no problem. I believe and I trust that we're working with the right team, and I just get after it and let's keep going. And he says, man, you're like Job. I had no idea who Job was in that moment. But someone that works for me looked across, he goes, hey, do you know who Job is? And he shares with me the Cliff Note version of Job. I remember going home, and instead of opening a Bible, I started Googling, which, by the way, is, as we all know, the best way to get in all information. I started Googling and reading about New Testament, Old Testament, and just trying to get information that maybe would continue to fulfill that unique hunger that I was feeling from that one comment. So Easter comes. And I did love Sundays, by the way, because Sundays were great. My wife would get up, she'd get 5 or 6 of the kids ready, and they would leave. And that would give me time alone at home to do whatever I wanted. So it wasn't time for God, it was time for Greg. However, this Sunday, when she was getting up, she said, hey, we're going to church. I said, great, I'll go with you. And she kind of looked at me like, what do you mean you're going with us? I said, yeah, I want to go with you. And when I walked in that church, I didn't know Jesus was a person. I literally did not know that Jesus Christ was a man that walked on this earth, or was he God, or really anything. And when I sat there, I saw the truth of salvation in Sammy's smile, and I heard it in Sandy's voice. And then when the pastor's message started, I felt it in the message. And it was something that words can't explain, and other people who were saved probably know, but the impact that service had on my life is just immeasurable. I remember walking into the courtyard and there was an Easter egg hunt, and I remember just being at this unbelievable level of peace. And I just remember sitting there staring at my kids, and I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave the campus. I didn't want to leave the grounds. And in that moment, my life changed entirely. And the truth was revealed, and it's been the greatest gift of my entire life. I found Jesus at the highest point of my life, when at least I thought that I had everything. I walked into church on that Easter Sunday thinking that I had everything. And really, I walked into that church pretty empty. And when I left that church, I left fulfilled, and I had the Holy Spirit inside of me. And now I truly know what it's like to have everything. Now I have a different purpose in life. When I was first saved, I was talking with a good friend of mine. And my friend said to me, he goes, so you're going to church every Sunday now? I said, yeah, I'm going to church every Sunday now. I said, I'm reading the Bible, and I'm changing a lot of things about my life. And he goes, Greg, he goes, I gotta say, he goes, you're one of my best friends, and you're an amazing guy, you're a giving guy, you're a loving guy. What makes you think that you need religion or you need this relationship? And I looked at him and I thought about that question for a second. And I said, some people in life have a really good sense of direction. And I think I was lucky. I had a really good sense of direction throughout my life. But let me ask you a question. And this was me talking to him. I said, if you were going on the longest trip of your life to a place you have never been, and you really had no idea how to get there, I said, would you go off of your good sense of direction, or would you turn on your GPS? And he looked at me and he's like kind of in a confused way, and he says, I turn on my GPS. And I looked at him and I said, well, then I'm going to go ahead and turn on my GPS. And I said, because we're going on a journey to a place that we really have no idea how to get there. And there's two ways to do it. You can hope you can get there in a good sense of direction, or you can open up the Bible, which is basically a roadmap that tells you exactly how to get there. And for me, being saved was just me simply turning on my GPS.